yeah, they did a tremendous job. I mean, we give all the credit to them. I mean, our big thing is the first thing that we do after we score, we get into the end zone. The first thing that we do is hug a big guy because, I mean, it all starts with them. Every single day with Grant Gibson, the way that we start practice, and I tell all the offensive line, it starts with them. The way we go as fast as we want to go, it starts with them. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How much did the hard count that kept drawing them offside early help buy you some more time?
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Just being able to get certain indicators on whether they're pressuring or not, or what type of looks they're potentially rolling into, or if we get a possible cloud or anything. So those indicators were really big for us. We were fortunate enough they were jumping off sides, so we were able to get a free 5 yards on a couple times. But, yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of our game.
But did that kind of make them hold up a little bit more and maybe be a little less aggressive in the second half as the game went on?
I believe so. I mean, us changing up the cadence throughout the whole 4 quarters, I mean, that definitely puts the defense on their toes, definitely holds up the defensive line from jumping our cadence a little bit, and it helped us out a lot.
Thanks, Devin.
Yes, sir.
Mark Armstrong.
Yeah, hey, Devin, I'm sure you arrived at NC State full of confidence. Have there been patches where that got really battered and now 336 and 4 touchdowns, no picks on the road, come from behind? Just to see yourself kind of live through a performance like that, has that got you in a different headspace?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, coming into NC State, I've always been a confident player, always confident in my ability. But something that I think I've had to grow and learn and embrace is trusting the process. I mean, not everything can happen at one moment. Not everything can happen in 1 year. Everyone's going to make mistakes, but really it's all about how you respond. And I just think a lot of adversity that not only I went through, but our whole team went through, just being able to see it pay off a little bit versus Pitt was very rewarding.
Does it kind of raise your internal expectation of yourself, showing that you are capable and the team, not just you individually, obviously, but capable of putting together a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with myself. I hold myself to a very high standard, a very high expectation for myself personally. And, I mean, it just carries over to the team, the type of team that we are. We're very hungry. We set high standards, and we always try to constantly raise the standard if we meet it. And I think that's something that our program really embraces, and I think that's something we're going to continue to do.
Casey Hintz.
Yeah, hi, Devin. This kind of was touched on a little bit following the game, just obviously your confidence. Clearly the numbers showed in that game. But from, this week alone, what kind of progressions do you make to take another step to even, further kind of put your foot in this offense here this Saturday?
Yeah, I think it really all starts with just identifying your opponent, seeing what type of defense they're going to be running, what the best game plan going in the game should be. And then, I mean, like I said, it starts from the front always, starts with our offensive line, learning the best possible protections that we can put up against Virginia. And then following that, like I said, the game plan, the correct run plays, how we're going to attack them offensively with our run game as well as the pass game. So, I mean, just really taking it day by day is really important for us.
And if I can, sorry, what did you see from that Clemson? Obviously, it was still a double-digit game, but it was a different Virginia team than what Clemson saw last year. So what have you seen from that defense if you've gotten a chance to just kind of take a look at Saturday's Clemson-Virginia game?
Yeah, I think they have a very good defensive scheme. They definitely try to show multiple different coverages, multiple different types of pressures as well. I think they have very long athletic players that are very good. So, I mean, it's really just up to us to come into the game with the best possible game plan to attack them.
Thank
you. Gibby.
Yeah, Devin, you seem to have a really good mojo going with Carrie Angela and your tight end. Where does that come from, and how nice of a security blanket is that 6'7" tight end for you?
Yeah, and it's huge. I think any quarterback would love to have a receiver that's 6'7" with the type of hands that Carrie has. It's really nice to see on the field. But, yeah, to answer your question, I think it all starts in the offseason, really, with all of my receivers, not just Carrie. We were able to throw almost twice every single week, kind of just like a players only type of deal, and just continue to build the chemistry with all the guys is very key.
Has he developed over the last couple of years? Have you seen him really develop? Because he's really seemed to really come on this season. Have you seen something in him that has maybe made him click the last few games?
Absolutely. I think it just comes with the game. I mean, he's learning the game. Of course, he's very experienced within the game, being a senior this year. And, yeah, I think he's just very comfortable. He's confident in himself. He's understanding all the concepts, and he's a very good weapon that we have on the field.
Thanks, Devin. Keep it up.
Yes, sir.
JB.
Hey, Devin, thanks for taking out the time. Just one simple question for you. What part of your mechanics have improved the most from 2019?
Yes, sir. I've been actually working a lot on that in multiple different aspects, but I would just say quickening up my release, shorter steps in the pocket, smaller pocket movements, but still being urgent, quick, subtle movements, and just really, like I said, just quick release, being able to put the ball in a spot and knowing where it needs to be before the defense gets there.
And going off of your last performance this past weekend and dating back to your first performance as a collegiate quarterback, how do you feel that you've improved? How would you evaluate yourself with those improvements?
Yeah, I think I've improved pretty well. Going back to what I said, just trusting the process of understanding the game more from a mental aspect, taking everything that I've learned last year on film, taking all of what I've learned from and breaking down everything that I was doing wrong and kind of just learning how to improve it, how to improve my game little by little, and just correcting myself in the right type of ways.
All right. Thanks, Devin.
Sammy.
Yeah, Devin, when you were going through the time of the preseason when you had to sit out, was there a low point during that stretch? And what did you do during that time when you had to be isolated like that?
What can you repeat that question?
Yeah, during the time of the preseason when you were out, was there a low point during that time you had to be out? And what did you do to pass time? Were you just kind of locked inside your room?
Oh, are you talking about the quarantine time? Yeah. I mean, quarantine was definitely tough. I think it was right before a scrimmage. I was actually quarantined. And yeah, I mean, being stuck, I mean, just for anyone in general, being stuck in your room, I mean, while still watching the film, watching all your teammates practice every day is definitely tough because you want to be out there with them. But I mean, I was fortunate enough to be quarantined as well as Thayer Thomas and Emeka Emezi. And we were able to still throw because we all did not test positive. We were still able to throw. We were still able to work out. So being able to kind of connect with them more, build that chemistry more while not being at the facility was kind of like a blessing in disguise. But, yeah, it was definitely tough just watching all my teammates, watching all my brothers practice and play every day while there was nothing much really I could do. It was really out of my hands.
Yeah, and just also, I know you grew up pretty close to Philadelphia. Were you an Eagles fan growing up?
Yes, sir. I still am.
Jonas.
Hey, Devin, I really appreciate you taking time and speaking with us. I wanted to ask, the 300-plus passing yards, the 4 touchdowns, I'm sure you got a lot of congratulations and pats on the back. But when you go back and watch the film with Coach Beck, what are some things that you guys saw that you would like to improve on heading into the Virginia game?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say watching the game, there was a couple plays that I could have potentially read better or fixed my eyes, kind of moving the defenders a little bit more. And then also just identifying pressures a little bit, being able to protect myself with the offensive line, everyone to be able to communicate on the same page. But just overall, just continuing to take what they give me from an offensive standpoint.
All right, last question from Charlie.
Yeah, Devin, you got your first win as a starting quarterback the other day. That had to feel good. Talk about that and and how can you build on this going forward here?
Yes, sir. It was a huge feeling every week we set out a mission, and that mission is to win the game, whether it's by 1 point or as many as we need to score more than the other team. And me personally coming to NC State, that was my main priority goal, was to do whatever I can as best as I can to help this team win. And being able to get that first win was huge for me. It was a huge honor, and it was definitely seeing all my hard work kind of pay off a little bit.